Okay, here's our video on whole number place value part 2. So let's look at a number. Here it is, 4,538. So we have the 8 in the ones place, just reviewing. The 3, what place is the 3 in? It's in the tens place, right? And we have the 5. 5 is in the hundreds. And we have the 4, and the 4 is in the thousands. So that's the place they're in. And we have place and we have value. Now, one thing about the numbers is they will repeat. The place will repeat, and I'll explain that. So let's say we had the ones place, and then we had the tens place, and the hundreds place. Then we have the thousands place. And then it just goes tens, hundreds again. Right? And we'll explain that in a minute. So, we know about the place. So the 8's in the 8, it's in the ones place. Right? The 8 is in the ones place. I'll make it bigger for you. The 8 is in the ones place. And what's its value? Remember, we're doing place value. So the 1 is in the place it's in is in the ones place, and its value is 8. Right? That seems simple. The value is 8. And here's a chart. So let's see if we can put this chart up. So we have 4,538. Right? So let's look at the 8. The 8's in the ones place, like we said before, and its value is 8. The 3 is in the tens place, and its value is 30, because it's in the tens place, right? So if you took the 8 away, you see there's a 30 there. I'll bring that down. Okay, and the 5 is in the hundreds place, and its value is 500. And the 4 is in the thousands place, and its value is 4,000. So look at that chart for a minute. You see we have place, and we have value. Right? Okay, let me give you another number here. Okay, so let's write this number here. Let's say I said, we see the number here, so I'll just write it here. Now every 3 numbers, bring it down so you can see it actually, every 3 numbers we call a period. So 1, 2, 3, so these 3 numbers are in that period, and the ones, tens, hundreds. So 34,912. The 2 is in the ones place, and its value is 2. And the 1 is in the tens place, and its value is 10. So see if you can figure 9, 4, and 3. What's their place and what's their value? So you should pause the tape and try to do that. Okay, so the 9, it's in the hundreds, right? It's in the hundreds place. And the value is 900. What about the 4? 4 is in the thousands place, and its value is 4,000. And the last one, 3. What do you think 3's in? It's in the 10,000s place, and its value 30,000. Okay, so let's look at something again. Erase this. Let's make a big number here. Remember, every 3 numbers is a period. So we have the ones, tens, hundreds. Then we have another number. And in a sense, this is not the ones place, but we have the 10 and hundreds again, because this will be 5,000, 60,000, right? 300,000. So again, we have the ones, tens, hundreds, then we have 1,000, we have 10,000, 100,000. Then we have a new number, millions. And it repeats, 10 million, 100 million. Right? And then after that we'll have billions, and then 10 billion, 100 billion. And then trillions, 10 billion, 10 trillion, 100 trillion, and so forth. So 10 and 100, they keep repeating. Right? Now let's look at a number. This is 127,222. Remember in the last video I said don't say n. Don't say 127,000 n 222. Because remember the end means a decimal. And we'll go over that in another video. So how many times greater is the 2 in the tens place? So where's the 2 in the tens place? Right there. That's the tens place. So how much greater is this 2 than this 2 in the ones place? How much greater is it? Well, with powers of 10, it's pretty easy. Every place is 10 times greater. So this 2 is 10 times. That's how we write 10 times, by the way. 10 times greater. And how do we know? Well, this 2 is in the ones place, and this 2 is in the tens place, so it's 10 times greater. This 2, put an arrow by that 2 is 100 times greater than that 2. Okay, so let's say if I wrote all 2's. Could be any number, but we'll just use all 2's. So let's say I had 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Remember, every 3 numbers is a period. So if we're looking at just the ones place, this number is 10 times greater than this. This number is 100 times greater. This number will be 1,000 times greater. This will be 10,000 times greater. 100,000 times greater. Right, so that's how powers of 10s work. 1, 10, 100. Just add a 0 like we did in previous videos with exponents. And we can keep going. So the number next to a number, to the left, is always greater. This number is 10 times greater. Remember that. So, if I wrote a number here, and I asked you, how many times greater is this 3, how many times greater is this 3 than that 3? What do you think? We'll just count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away. It's 4 spaces away. 4 spaces is 4 zeros. So put a 1 and 4 zeros. It's 10,000 times greater. Let's check. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. So count the spaces, and the spaces are the zeros. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, let's write another. How much greater is this 7 than that 7? How much greater? Again, count the spaces away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces away. So that should be 6 zeros. Put a 1 and 6 zeros. 1,000,000 times greater. Let's check. Remember, with powers of 10. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million. 1,000,000 times greater. How much greater is this 7 than that 7? Count the spaces. 1, 2. 2 away. A 1 with 2 zeros. 100 times greater. So again, when you go to the left, it's greater. Now we'll talk about in the next video what happens when we go to the right. Okay, we'll talk about that in another video. Okay, great job.